guests, dear ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your kind invitation to speak here today at the Indian Geospatial Forum. It's an honor and a pleasure for me to be here today with you all and share some thoughts and experiences on the role and importance of geoinformation. Geoinformation on its own doesn't mean that much. I can remember the time when geoinformation was just a collection of data sets that were of interest to an important but small group of users. Nothing special and nothing new. That changed when technology became available for large groups of citizens. The first smartphones looked like small refrigerators with a limited set of functions. You could call and be called. 15 years later, smartphones are everywhere, fit in your pocket and offer you all kinds of possibilities, including your location at all times. Location is no longer your own street or neighborhood. No, technology enabled us to move at incredible speed across streets, cities, countries, continents, and even beyond. Boundaries disappear. Point is that these boundaries can be crossed physically, as indicated, but also virtually. IT enables a faster, easier to use, and efficient way to cross borders. The world shrinks. You don't have to mount on a spaceship like our Dutch astronaut André Kuipers did last year to experience that yourself. Technologies and globalization have their impact on society at large and as a result on everyone's personal lives. Let me give you an example. On the 12th of December last year, I saw a news item that crossed the globe very quickly. The passing away at the age of 92 years of the honorable, well-known and legendary Indian sitar player, Mr. Pandit Ravi Shankar. He was one of those gifted persons who shared Eastern classical music with the West and inspired many. He played with George Harrison of the Beatles and was one of the founding fathers of the Bangladesh Charity Concert in 1971. A cultural revelation and learning experience for many in the West towards new positive influences beyond borders. It's technology that offers the opportunity to listen to Mr. Shankar's music today at any place, at any time, using the digital highway of YouTube and iTunes. But as the world seems to shrink, it doesn't mean that challenges shrink. On the contrary, I would like to say, in my keynote, I like to address the situation in Europe, in particular the Netherlands, and I will highlight the trends and talk about the challenges that we as Dutch Land Registry, Cadastre and Mapping Agency, in short Cadastre, face. I will also address opportunities, and I will conclude my keynote with some reflections. But let me allow to start with a brief summary of the Cadastre. Cadastre is an independent public body that registers property transactions, provides geo-related information to stakeholders in society, and manages several national services. We are responsible for the key registers on cadastre and topography and are involved in spatial planning and organizational issues regarding urban and rural areas. Besides a national focus, we also operate in an international context, establishing partnerships, for example, the World Bank and the United Nations. The Cadastre consists of 6 regional offices and a staff office in Apeldoorn, and it employs 2,000 men and women. As you all know, the current ongoing global economic crisis has a huge impact on society at large. Let me say a few words on Europe in regard to the ongoing developments and its ambitions. In Europe, banks and national governments are facing severe problems and are discussing possibilities for better coordination and strong measures in cost cutting. Europe, and in direct relation to this, its member states, are eagerly looking for stability, for itself, but also for its citizens. These citizens are asking for more transparency and openness. Both are recognized by the European Union and adopted in the program of the European Commission. Also, the focus on a single market is a main objective in the European Union. The termination of barriers and active promotion of interoperability, public-private partnerships and innovation are key success factors. Connect to compete. A short phrase which indicates that Europe is also a strong supporter of better and faster networks, the internet and solid infrastructures. And as public-private partnerships are mentioned before, cooperation is highly valued by the European Union itself as well. Europe is a reliable and supportive trading partner in the world. These ambitions on a European level don't stand on their own. They are connected and entwined with the national ambitions of the member states. As societies are changing continuously, be it by these economic and political developments, be it by a boost of technology or globalization, national organizations like the Dutch Cadastre need to anticipate and adapt their policies and systems. When operating in a national and international environment, Cadastre's ongoing ambition is to be a reliable and active partner in the geospatial community. This community grows and evolves quickly. I would like to highlight three main developments that are recognized by the geo community in the Netherlands. In the first place, people expect a permanent 24/7 accessible network where geo-information is correctly linked, accurate, and meeting the demand of users. Information services will no longer be tied to a fixed internet environment, but move towards location-based services wherever you are. No need to log in from the office or from home. No, right on the spot with connection to internet on a mobile device as basic service. Secondly, based on agreed information standards, it will become habit to model social and economic processes dynamically. Future developments and impact of policies will be established more and more using these dynamic process models. These dynamics, combined with a rapid developing technology, will enable fluid, three-dimensional data storage and handling. Space and time dimensions are becoming part of storage. These dynamics also open possibilities for a wider range of registered elements, like, for example, carbon, water, or mining rights. You can say that the more information can be created, connected, and serviced, the more land administration systems evolve from registration system to designed systems. From registering traditional rights, restrictions and responsibilities towards active and tailor-made servicing of user demands, especially in the field of land use and planning. In third and final place, we see a movement towards a stronger involvement of all partners in the chain of activities. Technology-driven, but with a strong focus on cooperation between the partners. With the overall objective of generating faster, updated, and reliable information, web service technology enables the partners in an information chain to contribute to the actualization and improvement of the original datasets. It also creates possibilities for them to reuse certain datasets and add additional value. Besides your partners in the chain, there's also room for a stronger involvement of the community at large. Crowdsourcing techniques can support a more efficient and reliable collection of property data, leading to a more cost-effective collection of data. Local communities can enforce the recognition of customary rights by applying crowdsourcing techniques and community-driven initiatives. This will influence the role and function of formal systems like national land registry services. You can say that a shrinking world, strongly driven by technology, is generating a huge amount of data. Data that needs to support demands in society. It's an ocean of limitless opportunities and challenges. That's our today's reality. It asks from us taking responsibility to contribute where and whenever possible. We are prepared, curious, and willing to adapt our ways of working and thinking to take this responsibility without losing ourselves. The mentioned trends ask for an ongoing development towards user demand-driven land administration systems. And in order to get a clear picture on these user demands, I like to connect them with the concept that's being used in the field of sustainable development. It's known as the People, Planet and Profit motto. What I really like about this motto is that it helps us in analyzing different user demands into recognizable related chunks. People, Planet, Profit captures a spectrum of values and criteria for measuring organizational and societal success on a social, ecological, or economic level. It are these chunks that refer to the social responsibilities of organizations in society and define the objectives of land administrations now and in the future. Let's move to the Cadastre in the Netherlands and the way we deal with our responsibilities in respect to these three elements. To support people-related information demands, so-called ego information is required. As a common example, I like to mention the use of navigation systems in your car or motorbike or your walk in the park. They indicate your location at all times, wherever you are. These systems are becoming more advanced and available to many. The same movement is seen in the use of augmented reality. Applications can be downloaded in seconds and are ready to use. It's like cooking a nice dish. In applying the ingredients, smartphone, application, connection, voila. You have, as professional or consumer, your required geo-information even served on a plate. It has become a normal part of society. Cadastre has invested in the facilities to present its data using this augmented reality as well as providing geo-information on smartphones by using apps. This replaces the use of texting services. Of course, geo-information can be acquired by connecting to our corporate website, but also connection to partner sites provides information on, for example, the cadastral map. But also speeding up processes is of relevance for people like you and me. We want reliable information which is quickly available. To give you an example on this, in 2010, Cadastre started a project called Provisional Cadastral Boundaries. Its aim was to shorten processing time between deed registration and parcel creation after a field survey. This takes normally between 6 and 12 months. And in order to speeding up the process and winning time, the process was reversed and parcel creation took place before deed registration, with provisional boundaries and parcel areas. A simple verification of geometry of the new boundaries could be done in the terrain later on. To facilitate this process, a web application has been developed, and this application allows owner or notary to prepare a request for parcel division with professional geometrical data of the new future cadastral boundaries using a web-based geographic information system. We're moving over to the element plant, where geoinformation is an important part of describing our physical world. In the last few years, several new tasks considering registration and servicing were positioned at Cadastre. I like to mention that besides topography, also addresses and buildings and pipelines and cables belong to these tasks. Third element focuses on profit, which can be defined as an economic pillar. Provided geo-related information supports decision-making in case it concerns economic choices and financial analysis. Our datasets are used as a source for analyzing developments on the real estate market and supported related processes. An example is our web service aiming at our professional customers that's evolving rapidly. A chain integration project for property registration has resulted in the possibility for the automated acceptance and mutation of mortgage deeds and deeds of transfer. Also, the collaboration with national and online real estate agents flourishes by integrating of our information services into their web-based applications. You can say that geo-related information, when connected and meeting user demands, comes alive. It's a powerful source that provides solutions to questions in society. Like feeding the navigation system in my car, which turns into a highly designed virtual machine describing not only roads, but also traffic jams, polished checkpoints, radars, and weather conditions. Or the exact location of a gas pipe in a shopping center, where expansion of a new underground swimming pool is foreseen. It's a guarantee for safe digging. Or a precise indicator of the housing prices in past, present, and future, in order to buy or not to buy your dream house, right here, right now. Besides these user demands, I mentioned already that developments in technology and globalization are important drivers for keeping society connected and at speed. It's a challenge for organizations involved to keep meeting its demands, but it provides opportunities for innovation and new insights as well. At the Cadastre in the Netherlands, we experience adoption of and changes in products, services, application areas, and business models. There's a clear movement from data delivery related activities towards integrated solutions and knowledge supply. That requires an absolute focus on cooperation. Only then things can happen and the difference between success and failure is determined. I would like to highlight an example of professional cooperation in the public sector in the Netherlands. We call it public service with digital maps. It's a central facility for unlocking geo-data sets of national importance. It aims at sharing knowledge regarding geo-information, the promotion of access to geodata as well as the saving of costs. It provides open data and is based on open standards and software. Benefits for its users are a guaranteed level of services, continuity, and frequent updates. Aim of the service is to add more services in the future and unlock more data sets. In another example, we involved the crowd, in particular the active participation of hikers or other nature lovers. In 2012, Cadastral launched an app called Border Poles. This app refers to locating the exact position of border poles on the border between Germany and the Netherlands. By making the positions of these poles freely available to the public, it becomes possible for them to follow hiking routes on national borders and to give direct feedback to us on position and state of the poles, just by using their mobile devices. New recreational services are provided to the public, searching border poles, for example, and information on the status of the border post is given to Cadastre on a low-cost basis. It's not longer necessary to visit the poles on a regular basis by professionals. An exciting moment is also happening next week. I'm crossing my fingers, but I'm confident that things work out fine. In close cooperation with the National Police Department and the National Space and Aerial Association, a little drone goes airborne on the Hanselijn. This is a railway in the Netherlands connecting the eastern part with the western part. It captures high-resolution aerial pictures that can be used for surveying activities and to map borders along the railway. Advantage are efficiency. These little unmanned aerial systems can come at places where surveyors can't, and a razor-sharp picture quality. initiated by one of the engineers at the Cadastre, shared and explored with parties and their experts that can help leveraging an interesting idea into a reality, showing that the sky is in this case literally the limit. Important though is that we keep our feet on the ground. It's a fact that technology helps and enables our international society to be connected at all times, at all places. That also generates an obligation, where the amount of data, and I'm talking here as well of geo-related data, is growing every second progressively. It's our task to show and promote its use, but also to keep things small and understandable. That can only be achieved, I would say, despite technology, by humans and their will to share and cooperate. I started and ended my story today with connecting East and West. It's remarkable that enduring friendships go beyond borders and time. Like Mr. Shankar's love for sharing and inspiring many by his music, that continues. But also in your initiative of inviting me here to Hyderabad during the Indian Geospatial Forum. In return, I would like to show my appreciation and invite you as well to the West for the World Geospatial Forum in Rotterdam. This event is organized already for the second time in Europe. It takes place in May 2030. And I'm looking forward to see you there. Thank you very much for your attention.